Be advised, this episode takes place roughly 10 years prior to the main storyline. Wing Commander Defiant Few. Episode 5, The Day of Poison. Beta Wing from TCS Gallant. Enigma System, Enigma Sector, 2673 AD, 1:40 PM.
Are we there yet?
Nope.
Are we there yet?
No.
How about now?
No, Rachel, we're not there yet.
You realize I'm only asking because I'm bored. And because this entire mission is a complete waste of time, right?
Escort duty might be dull, but I wouldn't call it a waste.
Neither would we. It's nice to see you're taking your duty so seriously, though. It's always a comfort to any transport.
It's a waste of resources. Arrows are the proper fighters for escort runs. If pirates show up, which in this system is about as likely as Kilra reassembling itself, then they'll be in quick, nimble fighters that a thunderbolt can't chase down.
It's not pirates the captain is worried about. The border worlds are just one system away and probably would love to get their hands on an arms transport. He wants firepower guarding it.
Do you think any of those border worlds junkers will be getting past the destroyers stationed at the jump points?
You never know.
Yeah, you never know, so kindly pay attention until we reach the Zelangi jump point.
You be quiet. There we go. One less pest.
Pomegranate! Turn that back on.
Do I have to?
Yes?
Have it your way, Major. Beep. Okay, the Bartel is back in the comm channel. And it seems they don't want to talk to us anymore. Oh well.
Oh, for God's sake. Sorry about that, TCS Bartel. We had a momentary technical difficulty.
I doubt I have to remind either of you that blocking communications from a ship you're escorting is both prohibited and illegal.
Yeah, so anyway, there's no point in our being here.
And if the captain hadn't assigned you to this escort run, what would you be doing now?
Are you even listening?
Probably watching the news with the others. It's Declaration Day, you know.
Yes. Yes, it is. Today the Confederation decides whether or not it starts another war. This time with our own species. A fact that doesn't seem to affect your chipper disposition in any way.
This isn't the Kilrathi War again, Pharaoh. If the border worlds really have pushed us this far, we'll blast them back to the Stone Age. It probably wouldn't last a month.
And if it's all as easy as you say, we'll be right here on the front lines to watch the slaughter, from start to finish.
You know, I don't think they're going to vote for it.
I hope you're right. But with all the forces Confed's been moving to the border lately, and the extra convoy traffic, it certainly looks like they are getting ready for a war.
Well, they have to be ready, just in case. But the people of the Confederation waited through decade after bloody decade for the war with the Kilrathi to end. They won't stand for another one, and the Senate knows it.
I think you're being a bit too optimistic. Have you seen the news coverage of the pro-war protesters in Washington, Gateway, and at least a dozen other systems?
Yeah. Bunch of wino pricks and snot-nosed cadets still bitter about being laid off after the Kilrathi surrendered. They want to feel useful.
All cadets are like that. Thought they were gonna win the war all by themselves. We were the same back in the day.
You were, maybe. I wasn't.
Right. And who was it who always used to say they would be the first pilot in history to take down a Bondkara carrier in a Hellcat?
Oh, shut up.
It's all a question of getting inside the launch deck.
They can hear you on the transport, you know.
Find a torpedo rack or a parked bomber and send a dumbfire into it. Blast the thing open from inside. Boom!
You're making a fool of yourself.
No, I'm making fun of you. There's a difference.
You know what? Everyone dies. Starting with giggles on the Bartel there.
Ship requiring torpedo lock.
Are you insane?
Pomegranate, knock it off!
Fine, fine. You're no fun. I wasn't really going to torpedo it, you know.
Can't you take anything seriously?
Not when it isn't serious.
TCS Gallant to all Confed forces in system. We are under attack by Border Worlds fighters. All Confederation assets in the Enigma system assume high alert status. The state of war is now presumed to exist between Confed and the Border Worlds.
What the hell is this?
Destroyer Orion has taken a torpedo hit. He's going down.
Damn. Tell the launch deck if all our fighters aren't in space in the next minute, wartime battlefield execution rules are coming into effect.
Yes, sir.
Holy shit. Setting course back to the Gallant.
Negative. We can't leave the Bartel undefended. We have to stay here.
What? You've got to be fucking kidding me. You heard what's going on back there. The Gallant's under attack and we just lost one of our escort ships. They need us.
I know that. But you also heard the orders. Presume a state of war exists, which for us means this vital arms shipment can't just be left alone.
Our carrier is more important.
The Major's right. You can't just leave us alone out here.
Shut up.
Our people can deal with the border rats. And even if we do head back now, it'll be hours before we're in position to help. It'll be all over by then.
You don't know that. A Border Worlds patrol didn't just sneak through a jump point and past our picket forces. I think we're looking at a system-wide invasion.
You're guessing.
It makes sense.
We're staying here. We'll protect the only ship we're in position to protect.
Pat, at least let me go back.
No. If the Bartel is attacked, I can't defend it alone.
This is ridiculous.
If you have a problem with my orders, then take it up with Colonel Redmond when we get back. If you can't do your duty in a professional manner when the situation calls for it, then I will take that up with the Colonel. Got it?
Fine then. I hope you're right.
The Gallant will be okay.
Because it seems to me like you're betraying everyone on board our carrier.
TCS Gallant Flight Deck, 4 p.m.
Major Weber!
Captain Metcalfe, sir.
At ease, Major.
We heard the message from the Gallant when we were escorting the Bartel to the Zolansi jump point. We came back as soon as we could. But it looks like we missed the action.
It was over pretty quickly. The bastards took us by surprise. We're still not sure how they got so close to us before we noticed them. But they took out the Paris and the Orion. The destroyers on picket duty at the McCaffrey jump point are not responding to hails and have vanished from our sensors. We fear the worst.
Shit.
God damn it.
We also lost 9 pilots. Another 4 are in sick bay. I don't know if anyone told you on your way back in or not, but Colonel Redmond is dead.
No, sir. No one told us.
Well, the one consolation is that we destroyed all but 2 of the enemy's fighters. The ones that survived are running back towards the McCaffrey jump point. I've got 5 Excaliburs from Katana Squadron tailing them, and hopefully they'll lead us straight to their carrier.
We're going after them, sir?
Damn right we are! Assuming I received clearance from Sector Command, which under the circumstances, I don't expect to take long.
We'll make them bleed, Captain. For the record, TCS Bartel jumped out on schedule. No problems there.
Good. Major Weber, you've no doubt guessed why I came down here to see you. You were Colonel Redmond's executive officer. With him gone, you are now the Gallant's Wing Commander.
Yes, sir.
I'm also issuing you a field promotion to Lieutenant Colonel. I'll get that officially cleared with HQ soon enough. I wish the circumstances were different, but all the same, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Captain, please report to CIC. Message received from Admiral Mittelmark.
Here we go, Major. Sorry, Colonel. Come with me. You're gonna have a lot of work to do, and probably very little time to do it.
Don't worry, sir. I'll make sure everyone's ready for any upcoming action.
There's also funeral arrangements.
I know, Captain. As soon as time permits, I'll see to it.
Assuming we're gonna follow the enemy to McCaffrey, I want it seen to before we leave Enigma.
Captain, with all due respect for the dead, we're now almost certainly about to go into battle. Shouldn't we focus our attention on that and hold the funeral afterwards?
You ever hear of Custer's Carnival, Colonel?
Of course I have. During one of the first offensives against the Kilrathi, the Tiger's Claw fought a 3-day-long delaying action, while Confed's battered invasion force hauled ass.
Well, that's one way to put it. I was a second lieutenant on board the Claw at the time. I'd flown 3 missions before, all patrols where I didn't see a single Kilrathi fighter. Next thing I know, I'm facing 3 carrier groups worth of cats. And to day 1, 10 of my friends are gone. No place has ever felt as empty as the Claw's launch deck when I landed for rearming and repairs after that first day.
I know the feeling, sir. The first ship I ever flew off, the TCS Naseby, was destroyed at the Battle of Earth. I was the only one to survive from that ship. I ejected, then passed out, then woke up in the Concordia sickbay. When they let me out, I felt like I was a ghost wandering through the decks.
And now we've got a new war with all the new horrors that involves. But anyway, after that first day, the surviving cat fighters had pulled back to their carriers, and we had about an hour just to wait around till their reinforcements showed up. The Wing Commander, Colonel Burton, called us all to the hangar and held a funeral service. This might sound morbid, but it was just what we all needed.
Sir?
No soldier, no airman except for the most craven of assholes takes their comrade's funeral lightly. People pay attention and they show respect. Colonel Burton reminded us in that 5-minute-long service of who we had lost, who we might still lose, why we were sacrificing ourselves, and why it was important. I think we'd have lost a lot more people if it wasn't for that. That's what I need you to do. Focus your people. Remind them of who has died and who killed them. Remind them that they swore an oath to defend the lives and freedoms of Confederation citizens, which is as valid today as it was during the Kilrathi War.
I understand, sir.
Good man.
Message pending for Captain John Metcalfe, CO TCS Gallant, marked Alpha Priority Urgent and Classified. Clearance code and voice recognition required.
Am I supposed to be here for a message like this, sir?
Not really. Alpha Sigma 08.
Clearance granted. Displaying message.
Captain Metcalfe, we saw the battle from here. You and your people have my condolences for the ships and lives lost in this senseless act of provocation from the border worlds. If nothing else, it seems that only your carrier group was attacked. Sector Command and the TCS Singapore and TCS Nelson's battle groups have remained untouched, for now at least. As you know, a formal declaration of war against the border worlds will be decided in the Great Assembly today. That the Assembly will vote for it was an effective certainty, even before this latest outrage. But rest assured, I will personally see to it that Admiral Tolvin is informed of what has happened here, and that information is presented to the senators before they make their vote. In the meantime, however, we're not going to wait around for a follow-up strike. We know a war is coming, Captain, and so do the border worlds, which is why they're making these desperate strikes against us. If through some unbelievable fortune they are able to gain control of the Enigma system itself, they would be able to launch strikes against dozens of key Confederation core worlds. The current border, which places Enigma just one jump away from enemy territory, represents an intolerable security risk that cannot be allowed. So it is necessary for us to expand our border in this sector. I'm ordering the Gallant battle group to proceed at best possible speed to the McCaffrey system. Your orders are officially recon in force. However, if possible, you are to engage and destroy any border world's military assets in that system and establish a suitable Confederation presence there. The Singapore's group will do the same at Bradbury, whilst the Nelson remains behind to guard Sector HQ. Our current intel suggests that the enemy has spread their forces out along the border, trying to cover as much territory as possible with their small ragtag navy, and as you've seen, relying on sneak attacks and terrorism to further their senseless aims. As you know, Captain, we are technically not at war yet. However, that fact is nothing but a technicality. We have been attacked, and we will strike back. By day's end, the border worlds will learn that they have started a war they could never hope to win. And they shall pay dearly for the innocent Confederation citizens that they have murdered. Godspeed, Captain.
Much like you predicted, sir.
Yes. Well, you heard the orders, Colonel. We both have work to do. Dismissed.
Yes, sir.
TCS Gallant, flight deck, 5:30 p.m.
I'd almost convinced myself these days were behind me. That with the Kilrathi War over, we wouldn't have to see any more of our comrades like this. Most of those who died today fought through the Kilrathi War to win a new age of peace for humanity. Today, those people, our friends, were murdered by traitors and terrorists, by ingrates who have let their own self-serving ends and malcontent overshadow the peace, the very survival that we all sacrificed so much to achieve. By all rights, these pilots should still be alive, still be here to share in the days of peace that we waited 4 decades for, not dead at the hands of those who have thrown it all away. Colonel Gareth Redmond, Major Adish Hajenin, Captain Killian Turner, First Lieutenant Daniela Green, First Lieutenant Dak Ho Choi, Second Lieutenant Gan Matsumoto, Second Lieutenant Jamie Trent, Second Lieutenant Samuel Venner, Second Lieutenant Beatrice Rogers. May you find peace as you sail those stars you gave your lives to protect. And know that we who carry on shall avenge your wrongful deaths. Funeral detail dismissed. For fuck's sake, couldn't they have given us 10 minutes?
They can't exactly wait till we get to McCaffrey before prepping our fighters for launch, can they? Not if we have to scramble right after we get there.
Huh.
How are you feeling?
I'll live.
Good. Look, I wanted to apologize for the things I said earlier.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry I acted the way I did. You were
I wasn't
right.
planning to ground you.
Oh. Well, in that case, never mind. I didn't want to apologize. I have nothing to apologize for. Still, we wouldn't have made any difference to the battle if we had gone back, and I suppose it is best not to have to deal with anyone yelling at us for abandoning a transport in a war zone.
That would constitute a court-martial offense.
We'd be responding to a distress call, and the, what's it called? The Bartel? Wasn't under attack at the time. We could have talked our way around it.
And if that ship had been attacked and destroyed while we were heading back to a ship we couldn't help?
Seemed worth the risk at the time. We weren't that far from the jump point.
That's bullshit, and you know it. Anything could happen at any moment before a ship reaches a jump point, or something could have come through from Zelanzi.
This is our ship, Pharaoh. Our carrier, our fellow pilots, our friends. They were being killed whilst we were stuck in the middle of nowhere, useless. I watched Fort Asgard, where I grew up, blown apart by the Kilrathi from the window of an evacuation shuttle when I was 6. My parents died in their fighters trying to defend it. Remember me telling you that? Then I watched the TCS Belisarius explode, and every friend I had at the time died. So yeah, forgive me if I don't think a freighter with a handful of strangers on board is more important than my home, okay?
No, it's not okay. You let your personal feelings get in the way of your duty.
I stayed with you, didn't I?
Yes, to my surprise, you did. But you still demonstrated unprofessional and potentially damaging conduct. You questioned my orders repeatedly. You tried to guilt-trip me as well. I would be well within my rights to ground you, you know?
You didn't seem to mind when I cut the transport out of the comm channel, or started to lock that torpedo onto its bridge.
That was different.
Both are still technically illegal, but no harm, no foul. That's always been our motto, remember?
It can't be that way anymore.
Then why don't you ground me?
Because
you can't stay mad at me. You've never been able to.
I can't keep covering for you like I did at the Academy and everywhere else. I'm a wing commander now, and we are at war for God's sake. I need to start acting like one.
Tell you what then. If I start afterburning through the flight deck for laughs, or actually do fire on transports, then you can make an issue of it. You know, serious offenses that matter, things I wouldn't actually do.
Wouldn't you? Sometimes I wonder. There's always something you've done, isn't there? Something I have to cover for or pretend didn't happen. No matter where we are or what else is going on around us, there's always something.
You're starting to sound like my Aunt Lydia.
I'm tired of it.
You know I'd do the same for you. If you'd stop acting like the eternal Boy Scout and actually give me a reason to, that is. Got time for dinner?
No, I don't have time for... No, I've still got a ton of work to do before we jump. I need to look through Colonel Redmond's old files. All 342 of them.
342? Better you than me.
Yeah. Woe betide whatever ship gets you as wing commander one day. Ugh.
No one likes slanderers, Pat. Can't those files wait? We're not too far from the jump point, and you need to rest and eat just like the rest of us.
I'll manage. Life becomes more of a balancing act between duties and essentials like food and sleep the higher the rank you have.
It would do everyone good to see their new colonel walking the decks, looking confident and on top of things. We lost a lot of people today. We may lose more soon. They need a stabilizing influence.
That's an uncharacteristically caring attitude for you.
Don't make me hit you again.
Fine. All right. Dinner it is.
TCS Gallant, crew quarters, 8 p.m.
Attention all hands, this is the captain. We are currently 20 minutes from the McCaffrey jump point. As you've been told, there's a strong possibility that we'll be facing a battle situation as soon as we jump into the system, so all pilots are reminded that you must be suited up in your cockpits and ready to launch in 10 minutes' time. Any delays will be considered an act of willful criminal negligence and punished accordingly. That's the official line I'm required to say. On a personal note, I know I can count on all of you to do your duty and do it well. We'll avenge our lost friends soon. Captain out.
Here we go again.
Computer, set alarm for 5 minutes from now.
You don't have 5 minutes to spare, Rachel. Get up, Captain! That's an order!
That would be abusing your authority.
What? How would that be? We are about to jump into a battle zone, for God's sake.
Oh, calm down, Pat. I'm just messing with you. Computer, cancel alarm. Seriously, it's the Prune Danish incident all over again.
You're never gonna let that go, are you?
No, and you shouldn't be allowed to forget. Sorry, Lieutenant, but as power comes with responsibility, responsibility also comes with power. To that end, leave the Danish alone. It is mine. That's an order.
In my defense, he'd already had 3.
Poor Lieutenant Fisk never quite recovered from that.
Look, enough. This is a serious start to a serious day. There isn't time to wax nostalgic about Danishes.
Yes, sir.
Come on, hurry it up. We need to get moving.
There, you see? All suited up and ready to fly, Colonel. Do you want me to head out first and give you the all clear if there's no one in the corridor so you don't get seen with me?
Everyone already knows about us. Besides, now that I'm Wing Commander, I can assign anyone making smart comments to escort the daily waste disposal ship.
That's a point. I guess that means you're useful now.
Gotta be honest, I'm not sure that wolfing down dinner and then rushing back to your cabin quite counts as inspiring the troops.
They'll get over it.
Listen. Take care of yourself out there. Okay?
We'll both be fine. Don't worry.
TCS Gallant, main bridge, 8:20 p.m.
Captain, jump point opening. It's Alpha 3, First Lieutenant O'Creefy.
About time. Put 'em on.
Yes, sir.
Captain Metcalfe, this is Alpha 3. We entered the McCaffrey system without incident. However, there is a Border Worlds carrier sitting approximately 50 kilometers from the jump point.
Sounds like we're just in time. If we jump now, we can be through and scramble our fighters before they close in on us.
Captain, they're not closing on the jump point. The ship is just sitting there. All her fighters have been launched and are holding position beside the carrier. We count 40 fighters in total, and the carrier itself is one of the old Yorktown class.
Strange. But we can't waste time. Jump back in, Lieutenant. We'll be right behind you.
Yes, sir. Coming about now. You should know though, sir, the Border Worlders contacted us. They say they don't wish a confrontation, and their ship's wing commander has asked to speak to you. However, they also say they are prepared to, quote, defend their system from any unlawful attacks, unquote.
Unlawful attacks. So what do they call what they did to us?
They haven't said anything about that yet, sir.
Well, let's go hear what they have to say. Com, close the channel and put me through to our escorts.
Aye, sir.
Attention all ships, this is the captain. We're going through. Destroyers Maul and Condor, you're up first. Cruisers Waterloo and Arizona will follow. Then the Gallant.
Message received, Captain. Destroyers Maul and Condor moving in. Sir, we've just received a string of messages forwarded to us from Sector Command. One classified transmission marked low priority, and the rest are marked personal. There's one of the personal ones for you as well, Captain.
Fair enough. Transfer my mail to the CIC.
Aye, sir.
Commander Bilverstone, you have the bridge. This shouldn't take long.
Aye, sir.
There we got this. Oh, fascinating. An update from the Assembly Hall saying that the senators have just started entering the chamber. As yet, no further news. No doubt they'll send more, informing me of each and every piss break. Huh. Okay, what's this other one?
Hi, Dad. I got your message. I'm hoping this one gets to you before you... Well, I remember when you used to say, I can't give you too many details, and I'll see you when I get back, in your messages during the war with the cats. And considering what's been going on in the border worlds, I think I could put 2 and 2 together. I suppose this time is not as bad as it used to be. This isn't the Karate fleet at Freya, isn't it? Just outdated pre-war relics. I guess that should set my mind at ease, but... I don't know. None of this makes any sense. The border warriors have to know that they'd be flattened by Confed if they pushed us too far. So why are they... but you don't need to listen to this, and you don't need to hear me worrying either. When you see this, you're either about to go into combat, or you've already won. Just do me a favor and let me know you've won as soon as you can. I can't help but worry, even for something as small as this. Old habits, you know? Well, while I'm here, I might as well give you the news from my end, of which there's not much, to be honest. The Academy's made a big point of being business as usual. We actually had the Commandant herself call us into the main hall and inform us that there would be no snatching away of cadets to the front lines to help fill up gaps in the ranks. They're expecting this war to be over before the month is out. Kinda sounds like they're tempting fate to me, but when you look at the numbers and the sheer disparity between our tech and theirs, you can see why they're making the predictions they are. For my part, I've actually been assigned 2 weeks of on-the-job training at the Sirius station. It's that rusty outpost not too far from Earth where most of the system's freighter traffic comes through. I'm actually calling you from the shuttle. Me and a few of my classmates will be handling basic flight duties, flying cap around the station, checking ships for contraband, small patrol routes. I'm pretty sure I'll be bored after 2 days. I'd best let you get on with whatever you got to get on with. Take care of yourself, Dad. And I guess I'll see you when all this madness is done with.
God damn it, Will. Now of all times? Now, what did I expect? The boy's been reading between the lines of my letters home since he was 6. I knew I should have waited till after the battle before writing him. My fault.
Captain, cruises Waterloo and Arizona are now 30 seconds from the jump point.
Understood. I'm heading back now. I relieve you, Commander.
Yes, sir. Cruisers Waterloo and Arizona just jumped out.
Good, that means it's our turn. All hands, this is the captain. Prepare for jump transition. Helm, take us in. Com, give our fighters the all clear.
Flight deck, this is the bridge. All fighters are clear to launch. Shoot straight, live long.
Captain, I'm detecting a Border Worlds carrier holding position 50 kilometers out, right where Alpha 3 said it would be. I'm also detecting 40 fighters holding position next to it, including 7 Avenger-class bombers.
Understood.
Sir, one of their fighters is hailing us.
One of their fighters? Why not the carrier? Well, all right. Let's hear it.
This is Colonel Eliza Lainey, Wing Commander of the BWS Guardian, to the Confederation carrier. Please respond.
This is Captain John Metcalfe of the TCS Gallant responding.
You and your ships are trespassing in a border world system, Captain. I will ask you to withdraw immediately.
You and your ships recently trespassed into a Confederation system and destroyed several Confederation ships. I don't think you have a right to just ask us to leave now. Nor do I believe it's appropriate to be discussing anything with you and not your captain. Can you patch me through to him?
Captain Allenby is dead. So is our first officer and most of the bridge staff. We took a torpedo to the bridge during a fight with a Confed destroyer 2 days ago. I am in effective command of the Guardian.
I see.
This is a waste of time, Colonel. Those fascists, they're not gonna listen to reason.
Harry, shut up now. Captain Metcalfe, since we arrived in this system, the Guardian has been tasked with monitoring the Enigma jump point. Roughly 2 hours ago, we detected 2 fighters transmitting Border Worlds IFF codes emerging from Enigma. Those fighters were not from our ship, and we are the only Border Worlds capital ship within 3 jumps of this system. We tried to hail those fighters, but they ignored us. Their course was a straight run for the Shelton jump point. I've also checked with our Sector HQ. They assure me there have been no strikes ordered against Confederation assets in the Enigma system.
Bullshit! Lying border vermin bullshit! Why the hell are we listening to this? These are the bastards who killed our people! They're sitting right there! It's time for some payback!
Cudgel, shut up! One more outburst and you're grounded.
Huh. There. You see what they think of us? What did I tell you, Raven?
What did I tell you, Harry?
Attention all Confed fighters. You will all remain calm and quiet until this exchange is over.
The same goes for everyone under my command. We need to keep our heads here, people.
Okay, good. Now, Colonel, the obvious question, why should I believe anything you just told me?
Captain, what possible reason could the Border Worlds have to attack Confed? We both know that we can't hold out against the Confederation's Navy in a full-scale war, we don't need additional territory, and we don't need to raid for resources. You have to realize that this campaign of terrorism your Admiralty is accusing us of makes no sense.
Forgive me, Colonel, but that sounds glib, to say the least. Everyone knows the resentment that the Border Worlds bear for Confed. I'm not prepared to discuss the justifications of such resentment, but it seems to me that a campaign of violence and intimidation against a war-weary Confederation makes for the most likely explanation. And whatever your motivations, the evidence speaks for itself.
No, it doesn't. Captain, our fleet movements over the past 2 weeks make it physically impossible for us to have carried out over 50% of the attacks we've been blamed for. This is corroborated by ship's logs of Border Worlds vessels, physical sightings of these ships by independent merchant vessels, communications records, flight recorders from our fighters flying off of these capital ships showing that they're exactly where they should be. That's not even taking into account the attacks the Border Worlds themselves have suffered, from Confed's blockade of Peleus to the massacre at Telamon. Our government has been transmitting this data on a daily basis to your assembly, and we've been ignored each time. If you ask me, the most likely explanation is that the powers that be in Confed don't like the thought of losing the power they once held, so they've orchestrated this campaign of terror, lying to their people and military in the process, to force a war that allows them to exert their influence over the frontier once again.
Colonel, we could trade theories all day, however the immediate facts are these. My carrier group has been ordered to secure this system in the interest of Confederate security. We have you outnumbered and outgunned, and if you try to fight us, you will lose. You have my word, however, that if you're willing to leave this system peacefully, we will allow you to do so.
Captain, can't you see that this is wrong? Can't you see that the story Confed's been telling you just doesn't add up? Why do you think your war hero, Colonel Blair, switched to our side? And he hasn't been the only one.
Capship missile launch detected from the Guardian.
What?
Confirmed. 5 Capship missiles heading straight for us.
All turrets stand ready to shoot down incoming warheads.
Gamma and Delta Wings from Swift Blade Squadron. Move in and take them out.
Guardian, this is Raven. What the hell are you doing?
We're trying to find out, Colonel. The order to fire didn't come from the bridge.
What do you know? They're trying to pull a fast one. Can we attack now, Colonel?
Colonel, this is Lieutenant Davies from Torpedo Bay Alpha. Forgive me, but my family is on Malcalvary too. I won't leave their fate up to these lying, imperialistic bastards. I won't just let them die. I'm sorry to force your hand.
Davies, you stupid bastard! Captain Metcalfe, those warheads were fired by a rogue officer on board the Guardian. I'm about to place that officer under arrest. and am ordering my own fighters to help yours intercept the warheads. I am asking you to not act against us until I can bring this situation under control.
Captain Metcalfe, are we clear to engage?
Captain Metcalfe, please respond.
Captain!
We can't risk it. Colonel Weber, you're cleared to engage.
You're making a mistake.
Communications, switch to a secure frequency right now.
You heard him, pilots. Assume attack pattern Alpha 9-2 and follow me.
All fighters, assume defensive formation Gamma 2-4 around the Guardian's bow. We'll hold position and concentrate out fire as much as possible. Keep it together, my friends. We can win this.
All fighters, break formation and open fire.
This is for Killian, assholes!
Stoat, Cutter, follow me. We'll take out the Banshee wing covering the Avenger by the Guardian's starboard flank.
Yes, sir.
Right behind you, sir.
He's on my tail. He's...
Colonel, we've got 2 Vindicators bearing down on us from above.
I see them. Keep pressure on the Banshees. I'll deal with this.
There's a lot of enemy fire here, Colonel.
Not for long. The Vindicators are down.
That was nice flying, Colonel. Whoa! Sorry, Colonel. Have to evade.
Keep your mind on the battle, Stoat.
Sorry, sir.
I'm sorry I let you down.
Colonel, this is Jinn. Longbow lead for Alpha Wing. My wing is beginning a torpedo run on the enemy carrier.
Understood. Any available ships, provide them cover.
What the? Where'd he come from? Hey! Someone get that border rat off my tail! I don't believe this! I have to eject!
Whoops. Looks like I hit his escape pod. Oh well, the galaxy won't miss him.
You'll pay for that, you murdering bastard.
Such hypocrisy. Exactly what I've come to expect from Confed. You want to die too then? Come at me. You'll never conquer us.
We'll fight you to the last.
Colonel, I'm detecting 5 Saber-class fighters launching from the Guardian. They're making a straight run for the Gallant.
Beta Wing from Fire Wing Squadron. Double back and engage the Sabres heading for the Gallant. Then get back and help us mop up the rest of the fighters here.
Understood, Colonel. My wing, with me.
Colonel, the Avengers aren't outfitted with torpedoes. They're being used as anti-fighter missile boats. My wing is under heavy attack. For our escort to gun wing.
Bastards. Adjudicator Squadron's Alpha Wing. Pull back to the Gallant. Beta Wing, take their place.
Lieutenant Marlantes here, sir. My wing is moving in.
Colonel, those Avengers are moving back to the Guardian's launch deck. Looks like they're trying to rearm.
Any available Thunderbolts from Death's Shadow Squadron, move in and destroy those Avengers before they can land.
I've got this one. Yes, got it!
Pharaoh, we've taken out 2 of the Sabres, but 5 Banshees followed us back, requesting backup.
Swiftblade's Delta Wing, pull back and support Fire Wing's Beta. Pomegranate, you've got arrows coming in to help.
Got it.
Report!
Cudgel's down an Avenger on the way into land, Colonel. It must have hit something very flammable when it went in, because there's been a ton of large explosions from inside the Guardian.
In short, enemy carrier's fire deck is down, sir.
Excellent work. All ships. Any remaining Avengers are no longer priority targets.
Pharaoh, the last saber just went down.
Great. Have the arrows reached you yet?
Yeah, they just got here. Now that we can focus on the Banshees, this shouldn't last long.
Long enough.
What the... Pharaoh, they've hacked into our comm frequency.
All fighters, switch to frequency...
Crap, I can't shake her. Someone with a spare heat seeker, help me out.
Say again, Colonel. Switch to which frequency?
Comm frequency 4. All ships, switch to comm frequency 4 now.
Someone help me. Patrick?
Rachel?
Torpedoes away. Yes! Look at it burn!
This is Captain Metcalfe to any remaining Border Worlds fighters. Your carrier is lost and you can't escape. Surrender now and I promise you will be well treated.
Negative. You started this fight, Metcalfe. Now you're going to have to end it. All fighters follow me. We'll do as much damage to their carrier as we can.
It was you who started this, Colonel. But we'll be more than happy to end it all the same.
All fighters, press the attack! Burn every last one of these vermin! Kill them all!
Wait! No!
TCS Gallant, flight deck, 10 PM.
That was beautiful. A spinning fireball hurtled onto the deck, and all of a sudden, everything was exploding.
They must have been prepping another bomber for launch, or in the middle of refueling the fighter.
Strange time to be refueling.
Desperate times, I suppose.
Well, who cares? Come on, let's go see if anyone look at the casual zero deck. I want to see that again.
Attention, Colonel Weber.
Report to the CIC immediately.
Colonel Weber to the CIC immediately.
We'll both be fine, don't worry.
We'll both be fine, don't worry.
Patrick?
This shouldn't have happened. She should still be alive. All of them should still be alive.
Enter. Colonel, come in.
You wanted to see me, Captain?
Yes. There's something you need to see before we tell the others.
What?
This came in just before you landed, along with new orders telling us to leave the McCaffrey system at once.
Remarkable news from the Great Assembly today where, thanks to the intervention of the legendary Colonel Christopher Blair, who has once again shown himself to be the foremost hero of the Confederation, the treachery of Space Marshal Jeffrey Tolwyn was revealed, and the innocence of the border worlds in the recent troubles on the frontier proven. In a near-unanimous vote following the Colonel's intervention, the Assembly has decided against a war with the border worlds, to the relief of...
What was... They voted against? How? What is going on, sir?
I've been receiving status updates continually since that decision was reached. Even Confed HQ doesn't have all the answers yet, but what we do know is that the acts of terrorism that we thought were the border worlds doing were actually being orchestrated by Admiral Tolwyn and some group he'd assembled called the Black Lance.
Tolwyn? This doesn't make any sense, sir. Why would the effective leader of the Confederation's Navy wage war against the Confederation?
Like I said, we don't have all the details yet, but it seems clear he was trying to provoke a war between Confed and the border worlds, and he came within a hair's breadth of succeeding.
This is impossible.
Sit down, Colonel.
You're telling me that the pilots from the Guardian were telling the truth?
It looks that way, and I told you to sit down.
Those fighters that attacked us back in Enigma, they weren't border worlders?
Considering what we know, it's all but certain they were flown by this Black Lance. Apparently, they've been using border world ships to stage attacks on Confederate shipping along the frontier for weeks, just as they've been using Confed ships to attack border worlds and kill Rothi targets. They duped us all.
That message just came through. The word that the war ended before it began. If we had gotten that just an hour earlier, or if we'd gotten to McCaffrey an hour later...
Don't even go there, Colonel. There's nothing that can be done to change what happened, and let me remind you, they fired on us first. We gave them every opportunity to avoid a confrontation, and they threw that back in our faces.
Can you blame them? Good God! What must have that looked like to them? We barge into their system, saying that we've been instructed to conquer it for reasons they know to be false?
We went in for reasons we believed to be genuine. We followed our orders as our duty demanded. It's not our job to be omniscient, Colonel. It's our job to serve the Confederation's interest and defend its people. And as far as any of us knew, that's what we were doing. If it's any consolation, Admiral Mittelmark has been arrested. It seems she was one of Tolwyn's stooges.
Makes sense.
Sector Headquarters has already issued a formal apology to the surrounding border world systems for this tragedy. I intend to send one of my own. You might want to consider doing the same.
Yes, sir.
I'm also standing down all flight operations for the next day. Your pilots will need a rest, and they'll need some time to come to terms with what's happened.
And there are more funerals to see to.
Yes, there are. I understand that Lieutenant Rachel Riney was among the... Well, you have my condolences.
Thank you, sir. If that's everything...
1 second. There's another matter I need to discuss with you.
Yes?
This is going to sound rather strange, so bear with me. I received some messages from HQ concerning you personally. Firstly, due to the unusual circumstances and tragic misunderstandings surrounding recent events, quote unquote, basically, Headquarters has decided to deny your promotion to Lieutenant Colonel. They're worried it would look like you were being rewarded for actions against the border worlds.
Oh. Well, it doesn't...
Literally a minute later, however, I got another message authorizing me to promote you to the rank of full colonel.
What?
Officially, it's a belated recognition of your actions during the Battle of Freya during the last days of the Kilrathi War, and also the years of dutiful service that followed.
This is a joke, right?
No, this is politics. I've seen this kind of thing before. Confed wants to look mature enough to admit its wrongdoing, but they want to be as miserly with their contrition as possible. It would be unseemly to promote you for valor demonstrated in this accidental war we almost started, but it would be beneath our dignity to penalize a loyal, Confederation soldier to appease the border worlds as well.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm done. Enough is enough. I'm going to resign my commission.
Well, that would be your choice. It's a misguided and downright stupid choice, but your prerogative nonetheless.
We murdered hundreds of innocent people today, Captain, and listened to hundreds more die needlessly. And I heard the woman I love die, calling out for me to help her. Never again. I have done enough, and I have lost enough. And Rachel, and all of them, Captain, all of them would be still alive right now, if not for this insanity orchestrated by the very man who saw us through the Battle of Earth.
Colonel, during that very Battle of Earth, I lost my parents when the Kilrathi destroyed Ceres Prime. I watched that world slowly become a fireball in my Saber's rearview display as we pulled out of the system. Not long after, I lost my brother and his wife when the Kilrathi bombed Miami. I couldn't handle it at the time either, and in fact, I almost got dishonorably discharged thanks to a drinking problem. I developed that after the battle. And it doesn't end there. Another message we received tells me that my son will spend 2 months in the hospital. He was shot down trying to stop Colonel Blair himself from reaching Earth when he passed by Ceres Station. He was the only one who managed to eject.
I'm sorry, sir.
I'm told he'll make a full recovery. But my point is, one day, maybe a month after the Battle of Earth, when I was caught flying drunk and put in a brig, the Wing Commander told me, plain as day, that I could bury my head in the sand, ignore everything else going on around me, and let the pain and booze slowly eat me alive. Or I could keep going and do some good, maybe stop more people from going through what I did. It really is that simple. You can either be a colonel in the Confederation Space Forces and help to safeguard the peace and stability that you swore to protect, or you can run away and drown yourself in whatever bars are still giving out free drinks to Kilrathi war vets. Now tell me, which sounds better to you?
Honestly, sir, I don't know.
Think it over, Colonel. I'll be making an announcement shortly. For now, go out there and do what you can do to help the pilots under your command deal with this bombshell. Until such a time as you decide to throw away your career, that is still your duty. Dismissed.
Wing Commander Defiant Few is a non-profit fan-made audio production by Fourth Starveling Audio based off of Chris Roberts' Wing Commander franchise, starring Paul Karle as Colonel Patrick Pharaoh Webber, John Taylor as Captain John Metcalfe, Rebecca Thomas as Lieutenant Rachel Pomegranate Riney, Annie Kim G as Eliza Raven Lainey and Admiral Mittelmark, Chris Turner as Stoat and Jinn, Lauren Edwards as Cutter, Elliot Baker as the Communications Officers of the TCS Bartel and TCS Gallant, Chandler Kim as Cudgel, Morgenstern Productions at morgensternproductions@gmail.com provided the voice for Harry, Enrique Gurule Jr. as Cadet William Metcalfe, John Leonhart as Captain O'Keefe, Adam Woods as Lieutenant Alan Spear Marlantes, Rachel Rumler as Lieutenant Davies. Additional voices provided by Shannon Lee Simmons, Rachel Rumler, Carl Tomasello, Hugh Carr and Richard Paul. Music and sound effects are from Wing Commanders 1, 3, 4, as well as Wing Commanders Privateer and Prophecy. Additional sound effects are from freesound.org and the BBC Sound Effects Library. This episode was written, edited and directed by Richard Paul. Wing Commander is the registered trademark of Origin Systems. Hope you enjoyed and thanks for listening.